Hello everybody. Week 7 kicks off the second half of Old Dominion season. The first half was not very successful as the Monarchs finished 0-6 for that half of the season. But now we look at the schedule and what's left and hoping for a chance at win number 1. Old Dominion was hosting Bowling Green in a very wet, rainy day for these two teams, and Bowling Green comes in on a 4-game winning streak, but the combined record of these 4 teams that they've played is very, very low. It's 3-18. So they haven't really beat anybody impressive. They lost to Tulsa and Kent State at the start of the season. But there's been a lot of talk around Old Dominion about who's going to get the start this week after David Washington had a very impressive week of practice and Taylor Heineke coming off a 3-interception performance against Navy. So there was a lot of talk about who would get the start, and it is in fact going to be David Washington starting against Bowling Green. Alright guys, here we go. Old Dominion gets the ball to start. David Washington comes in with 13 of 21 and 220 yards with 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions on the season. He's come in mostly to clean up when Heineke's gone down for injury or just to run a few option plays like we see here for 8 yards on that one. He has 13 rushes for 61 yards coming into this game. And now he's going to find Connor Martin, the tight end, on that play. And well, it was a big deal trying to decide who was going to start at quarterback. Heineke's kind of been a letdown in some areas, but here the pocket collapses and the ball is swatted. And we're going to look at Matt Shills, the star quarterback for Bowling Green. And he's got 12 touchdowns and only 2 interceptions coming into this game. And 54% of his passes complete. And he's going to find his halfback, Andre Givens, here on that play for 12 yards. But one thing to note is Shill's number 1 receiver, the star receiver for Bowling Green, Chris Gallen, is injured for 3 weeks due to a strained back. So his number 1 receiver, Chris Gallen, is not playing in this game, and he's not played for quite a while now as he was injured early in the season. But Shills does have other targets, including Alex Bayer for a 21-yard gain and 2nd and goal. Shills runs a little option. He's going to get a touchdown untouched on his way to a 6-yard TD run. And it's Bowling Green that comes out firing first, 7-0 here in the first quarter. Washington back to pass and finds a heavy blitz coming right at him. Will Watson comes out of nowhere. In 3rd and 20 now, Washington back to pass, the redshirt freshman. A little antsy to start off in this game, only 1 of 4 after 2 drives. And well, his exceptional week of practice so far is not showing up in game time when he's actually playing against another team. So we'll see how that continues throughout the game. This pass was caught, but it was actually caught out of bounds, so it was ruled incomplete. 2nd and 10 for Shills. He's going to find Burbrink on a little hitch route there for 11 yards on the play. First down, and Bowling Green looking for a little screen pass, but it's Caleb Taylor reading that all day, and that's one of the few times you will ever see me do a user pick. Is if I start out controlling a linebacker or somebody, I may read a play, but very few times you'll see me do that. So Old Dominion, 2nd and 5, giving it off to Melvin Vaughn, the fullback. It's not a name you're going to hear very often, the fullback, but in this case it is. Washington now running a little option, gives it to Tyree Lee for about 4 yards on that play, so it sets up a nice 3rd and 4. Very makeable 3rd down. Washington's going to go long, though. He was hit as he threw, and Devin McCoy there in the coverage to break it up, and I just don't know what's going on. But Shills is a tough quarterback. He's got a good arm, and he's going to find a tight end here on this play for a big gain and a 1st down as we start the second quarter. Bowling Green still leading 7-0, but this play almost could have been intercepted by the Old Dominion defense. They already forced 1 interception earlier. That's something the defense hasn't been doing very much this season, is forcing turnovers. But Shills is sacked on 2nd and 9. Great defense, and it looks like the defense is finally starting to find an identity. Julian Rudolph, pardon my tongue-tiedness here, but look at the coverage there. Again, defense stepping it up, so we do actually hold Bowling Green, and Washington's going to find Tyree Lee on a little screen pass, and he will get about 11 yards on that play, setting up another first down for the Monarchs offense. Washington pressured the pocket, collapsing, forced to just kind of throw that one into the ground. He'll start fresh on 2nd down. Tyree Lee, a 6-yard run, and then it's Colby Goodwin who's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker. And that would be that for Old Dominion. Their drive would end. 3rd and 4 on Bowling Green's next drive, and it's Burbrink. Pardon my tongue-tiedness today. I don't know what's wrong with me, but anyway, it happens, and it's Bowling Green driving now inside the 10-yard line, setting up 1st and goal. The Falcons looking now back to pass. Shills pressured, and he's going to fumble the ball. He was sacked. It was almost a turnover, but luckily for Bowling Green, the lineman falls on it. And on 3rd and goal, Shills back to pass. Looks into the end zone. He's going to find Joplin for 10 yards, and it's a touchdown for Bowling Green. And they take now a 2-score lead, 14-0, late in the 2nd quarter. And now it's up to David Washington to try and lead this team down the field and try and get within striking distance. He put a little bit too much air under that ball, and the freshman quarterback still needs some time to learn. But he's going to find clutch wide receiver Jaquale Bailey. This guy's clutch. He's always making plays when you need it most. Washington finds Larry Pinkert on 3rd and 11 as Old Dominion continues to struggle in the first couple of downs, but gets it on 3rd down. He's going to find Blair Roberts. Just about every receiver is getting some action now here at the end of the first half, and it's a timeout, Old Dominion, with 45 seconds left. And this time Blair Roberts again busts the defense as they're coming in for a blitz of 23 yards, and everything is working out. Finally, 1st and goal, and the handoff goes straight to Tyree Lee into the end zone. And that's a big deal for Old Dominion because they're going to score just before the half. It's 14-7 Bowling Green.
Glad to have you with us in the studio for the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. Reese Davis and David Pollock here, completely locked in on that first half. The Falcons' first half could do nothing but give them a world of confidence. This is a team that plays with a chip on its shoulder anyway. They're just looking for any opportunity to dot that I.
Yeah, Reese, well, think about it. You're the underdog usually for a reason, but when you come in and you don't feel like you're the underdog and you play really well and you got to lead at the half, you have no reason to look around and go, these guys are that much better than us. We can play with them, and you executed well. You continue to do more of the second half, but I love the way they've come out and they've attacked, and they're not worried about who they're playing. They feel like they can beat them, and they showed it in the first 30 minutes.
That's going to do it at halftime, just about ready to start the second half.
All right, you finish it up, brother. I'm going to get something in the cafeteria. I'm hungry.
Wait, don't leave until you get my order. Brad, Kirk, take the second half.
All right, so after that halftime little break there, Bowling Green gets the ball to start, and backup quarterback Matt Johnson comes in for a little bit as Shills was knocked out briefly, but Johnson would be sacked on 3rd and 5, and it would be a big stop for the Old Dominion defense because that gives the offense a chance to go right down. And Heineke comes in now in the second half. Washington was sat down, but Tyree Lee on the give. Look at the block by Antonio Vaughn, and Lee is gone for 55 yards, and that is going to tie this one up. What a play here. First play for Old Dominion in the second half, and it's a give to Lee. He bounces it outside and gets a great couple of blocks from Antonio Vaughn on the edge to seal the 55-yard touchdown run, Lee's longest of the season. And so it's tied at 14 here in the third quarter. Shills back to pass as he's back in action after being briefly knocked out early in the second half. But Shills now looking to pass, finds Kobe on this play for 9 yards and 3rd and 1 now. A big deal for Old Dominion defense again to stop him on 3rd down. But Shills runs a little zone read here, and he's going to get a big chunk of yards. 28 yards, and the defense needs to find a way to stop those kind of plays. Even Shills really isn't even much of a dual threat quarterback. He's not the fastest guy around. But it wouldn't be too much longer before Bowling Green finds Pater again. And this time it's James White. So it's 21-14. The Falcons leading. And once again, Heineke has come back into action after a disappointing first half by David Washington. But Heineke finds Pinkard, the leading receiver for this team so far. And it's been a big deal to get him going along with the other receivers, including Antonio Vaughn, who's been still a little bit quiet lately. Not a lot going on. 2nd and 3, the handoff to Tyree Lee off to the left side. He's going to get a huge amount of blocks, and he is going to be off to the races for 36 yards. That is the second huge touchdown run by Tyree Lee. He's got 3 touchdowns in this game. And just like that in the second half, all of a sudden the run game for Old Dominion is unstoppable, thanks to some great blocking and great running. And on 2nd and 3, Shills is going to be stopped big time on that play. It's going to set up a 3rd and 6 here late in the third quarter. Looks like Andre Gibbons was going to be stopped short of the first down marker, but he gets 11 yards out of that play. This game is tied at 21, folks, so we got a big game on our hands. Shills looking on the screen pass. He was pressured and it's fumbled. That's the second turnover of the day for Bowling Green. No turnovers by Old Dominion after the 6th turnover fiasco that was the Navy game. And it's going to set up great field position for Old Dominion. David Washington comes in briefly at the start of the fourth quarter. On 2nd and 5, he's going to get a big chunk of yards, 19 to be exact on this play, to set up a 1st and 10 just outside of the 10-yard line in Bowling Green territory. Tyree Lee's going to cut this off to the left side, and he's going to get another touchdown, this one from 12 yards out. And he scored from 3 yards out, 12 yards out, 55 and 36. A big day running. Bowling Green cannot stop this run game for some reason in the second half, even though it was somewhat a struggling run game in the first half. So, Old Dominion leading 28-21. They took advantage of that fumble that Bowling Green gave away, and now it is the Falcons who are playing from behind for the first time. And it feels pretty good, but Andre Gibbons continues to get nice little gains of yards here and there, 9 yards, 10 yards. He knows how to get it done, and Matt Shills is going to find Cohen here for the touchdown to tie this one up. Jared Cohen on 37 yards. And it's a game. This one's been back and forth, 28-28, 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, and it's in the hands of Taylor Heineke and the Old Dominion offense. Back to pass out of the shotgun on 2nd and 7, and it's Colby Goodwin, the backup halfback, getting 6 yards before he stopped shy of the first down. 3rd and 1, we give it off to Tyree Lee, who has been unstoppable in the second half. He has been incredibly hot so far. 2nd and 8, now looking, Heineke reads the blitz and finds Antonio Vaughn in the little out pattern there, as coverage was very short for the Falcons. 1st and 10, Tyree Lee gets the give, cuts it to the left side, and he is gone again. He's going to break the Old Dominion school record for most rushing touchdowns in a game with 5. Original record was 4. Lee gets it on a 30-yard run, and he has scored all 5 touchdowns. He has been running like a madman, and Bowling Green cannot stop it defensively. It's 35-28 now, under 3 minutes to go. Shills has to lead his offense down to tie this one up again. Andre Gibbons, a 7-yard gain there, and it's 3rd and 1, a big deal. Shills runs a little option, and it is completely blown up by the Old Dominion defense. And my goodness, if you ever needed a time for a stop like that. 3rd and 9, Bowling Green with 1 timeout. If Old Dominion gets the first down here, it is over. Heineke runs a little halfback screen to Tyree Lee. He's got the first down, and it's going to be all she wrote because Bowling Green is out of timeouts. And that would be the game. On the back of a record-breaking performance by Tyree Lee, 200 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns. And he accounted for 203 yards of Old Dominion's 228 rushing yards. No turnovers for the Monarchs. And John Darr defensively, 8 tackles, 3 for a loss, sack, and 2 forced fumbles. What a game for the Monarchs to get their very first win of this Dynasty series. So look at that ridiculous day, and most of it was in the second half. Lee did not do very much in the first half at all, and he had 3 really huge runs of 30, 36, and 55 yards. So those were most of his rushing yards. But finally able to put together a good performance. And look at this. Shields still had a pretty good day. 20 of 31, 278, and 3 touchdowns, but 1 interception. And wasn't quite enough. Givens had 104 yards rushing, so their offense produced a lot of good yardage, but they came up just short as Old Dominion finally gets win number 1, 35-28. It wasn't easy, but thanks to a great performance by halfback Tyree Lee, it was all possible. And here, get a quick look at recruiting. Brian Cook there. We've got a decent lead on Clemson. Jumping ahead a little bit, we're a little behind Rutgers on Drew Fine, and a big competition for David Davis. And North Texas has a little edge on David Davis there, but still bouncing around after that first win. It's finally great to get that out of the way, get that first win, and now we can move forward. Look ahead to the next game against Pittsburgh, at Pittsburgh. And there you can see Matt Williams, free safety, who did commit to us. And now we jump ahead as we advance to Week 8. Marcus Massey, the free safety, commits. Unfortunately, David Davis went to North Texas. Blake Gibbons went to UTEP. And Charles Dixon goes to FIU. But look at this. The NCAA Offensive Player of the Week for Week 7 was Tyree Lee, thanks to his amazing and record-breaking performance, or at least Old Dominion record-breaking, and we'll get one look at the top 25. And I'm still bouncing around after that great game. That is how you run the ball, guys. That's how you get it done. Texas A&M, number 1, Oklahoma State, number 2, Clemson, UCLA, and Washington round out the top 5. USC is undefeated, but they're only at number 10. They really have to earn their way up the ranks if they want to get that respect they feel they so deserve. But as you can see, a lot of the usual suspects here in the top 25. Nothing real shocking here to talk about. But guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this one. I really did. And I will see you all next time.